Hey Canucks fans, I'm in my Lunar New Year red. Happy Lunar New Year to all of you. And the Pacific Division has won the 2020 All-Star Game with a 5-4 victory over the Atlantic Division in the final. And all three Canucks players did quite well, actually. And earlier today, I gave my letter grades for yesterday's skills competition, and I had Pettersson and Markstrom with B pluses and Quinn Hughes with a C plus. Well, I'm giving Quinn Hughes an A plus tonight for an outstanding performance. 6 points over the 2 games. I need to give Pettersson an A minus. I thought he was outstanding as well with 3 points over the 2 games. And I give Jacob Markstrom about a B or a B minus. Not his finest effort, but it's really hard for goalies in these All-Star games. So let's talk about these 2 games real quick. In the semifinal, the Pacific Division whomped the host Central Division 10-5. And really, an aside, it's always tough when the home team, so to speak, gets knocked out, and it happened today, so there wasn't a lot of energy around the final. At least it was the second game, though. And I was talking about last year in San Jose, the Pacific Division lost in the first game. So really, the crowd wasn't into it for the Eastern Conference semifinal, and then, of course, the final game, given that that was the first game of the night of the 3. At least today, the Central Division played in the second game of the night, but they lost quite badly to the Pacific Division 10-5. In that game, Quinn Hughes had 4 points. He had a goal and 3 assists. Really nice goal. And we had Wayne Gretzky, the greatest player in the history of the game in the NHL, basically complimenting Hughes, saying basically, that young lad is a defenseman. His hands are better than mine were. Or he has better hands than I had, or something to that effect. The fact that Wayne Gretzky was commenting on how good Quinn Hughes' hands were, which is pretty cool. So Quinn Hughes, a goal and 3 assists in that victory. Pettersson, only 1 assist. And Jacob Markstrom, not the best night. He let in 3 goals on 7 shots. So basically, actually, he let in 4 goals and 7 shots. He made 3 saves, and he let in 4. So basically, 3 saves on 7 shots. So under 50% save percentage in the first game for Markstrom. And it was Quinn Hughes playing with Pettersson and Matthew Tkachuk. So no, we did not get to see Tkachuk at least play on a full line with Draisaitl and McDavid, but they were on the ice, with line changes and stuff. In fact, Draisaitl and Tkachuk showed some chemistry a couple times as well. So that was game 1, or game 2 technically, but the first game for the Pacific Division. And then we get to the final, and it was a pretty tight checking game, pretty intense game. It was nice to see, especially for a final. Obviously, there's professional pride. The guys want to play. They don't want to get hurt, but they don't want to lose either. And we saw the Pacific Division squeak out a 5-4 victory. And this is where Pettersson came to life. 2 goals, both in the second half of the game, in the second period, both assisted by Quinn Hughes. So Pettersson has 2 goals in the final game. Hughes has 2 assists in the final game. And Markstrom let in 3 goals in the first period, the first half of that game. I didn't get to see a shot total before I started this vlog, so I think he made more than 3 saves though, so maybe his save percentage for the entire night got at least to 50%, if not higher, but it doesn't matter. Pacific Division won. And Quinn Hughes with those 6 points, also on the Pacific Division team. Matthew Tkachuk had 6 points, Leon Draisaitl had 6 points, and Thomas Hertl had 5 points, but all of them were goals. So you had 4 players that you could really consider for the MVP, considering that the Pacific Division won. But no, the MVP comes from the Atlantic Division, the team that lost, and it was David Pastrnak, who also had a very good night in a win and a loss. He also had 6 points, and 4 of them were goals. So again, Pastrnak from the Boston Bruins gets the MVP, 4 goals, 2 assists for 6 points. And then in the Pacific team, you did have Quinn Hughes, Leon Draisaitl, and Matthew Tkachuk, all with 6 points. Maybe one of them should have got the MVP. Who knows? The fans voted, so I can't really argue about that. And then it was also Thomas Hertl with 5 points, all of them goals. So overall, pretty enjoyable night. Another All-Star weekend in the books. You don't expect too much. You don't expect the most masterful play or the most intense play, but it's always nice when the team that you're cheering for wins, and the Pacific Division was indeed that team with 3 Vancouver Canucks. So for tonight, I'm giving Hughes an A+, gave him a C+ yesterday. Pettersson, I'm giving him an A-. I gave him a B+ yesterday. And Jacob Markstrom, I'm giving a B. And I gave him a B+ yesterday. So overall, for the weekend, let's go Quinn. And if you value the game a tiny bit more than the skills, then I'm giving Quinn Hughes an A- overall for his entire weekend. I thought it was a great weekend. I'm giving Pettersson a B+ for a good play, and I'm giving Markstrom a B. How's that? A- for Hughes, B+ for Pettersson, and B for Markstrom. Let me know what you think of those grades. Let me know what you thought about tonight's festivities. Let me know what you think about David Pastrnak winning the MVP. Are you okay with it, giving us a fan vote really for an All-Star game? Or do you think one of the Pacific Division guys got robbed, whether it's Quinn Hughes as a Vancouver Canuck, or Draisaitl, or Kachuk, or Hurdle? Leave a comment below. Love to hear your comments, read your comments about the grades I gave. Again, A- for Hughes overall, B+ for Pettersson, and a B for Markstrom, taking the All-Star weekend in its entirety. Love to know what you think. Leave a comment below. I'll have to read, react, and reply. Subscribe if you like to like this video. If you like to, I'll check in tomorrow morning with one more vlog to wrap up the weekend before we get back into heavy Canucks talk as they start the last third of the season. I'm going to the game on Monday night, Vancouver hosting St. Louis Blues, and of course my live stream tomorrow night, my weekly live stream starting at 10 p.m. on YouTube, where we can talk about all of these All-Star festivities. So have a great rest of the night. Be safe. God bless, and go Canucks go.